The 1831 Coronation Honours were appointments by King William IV to various orders and honours on the occasion of his coronation on 8 September, 1831. The honours were published in the London Gazette on 16 September and 27 September 1831. The recipients of honours are displayed here as they were styled before the new honour and arranged by honour, with classes and then divisions as appropriate. United Kingdom and British Empire. Baronet Lieutenant General John Slade, Lieutenant General Sir William Anson KCB of Birchall, in the County Palatine of Lancaster, Lieutenant General Kenneth Mackenzie of Glenbervie, in the County of Kincardine, Vice Admiral Sir Robert Waller Otway KCB of Brighthelmstone, in the County of Sussex, Major General Sir Archibald Campbell GCB and Lieutenant Governor of New Brunswick, Augustus John Foster of Stonehouse, in the County of Louth, His Majesty's Envoy Extraordinary and Minister Plenipotentiary to the King of Sardinia, Sir James MacGregor MD of Campden Hill, in the County of Middlesex, Director General of the Army Medical Department, Robert Way Harty of Prospect House, Roebuck, in the County of Dublin, Lord Mayor of Dublin, Colonel John Thomas Jones of Cranmer Hall, in the County of Norfolk, Robert Greenhill Russell of Chequers Court, in the County of Buckingham, William Chater of Croft, in the County of York, and of Witton Castle, in the County of Durham, William Rickson Beecher of Ballygiblin, in the County of Cork, Joseph Birch of the Hazels, in the County Palatine of Lancaster, Robert Campbell of Carrickboy, in the County of Donegal, Wilfred Lawson of Brayton House, in the County of Cumberland, John Nugent Humble of Clonkers Coran, in the County of Waterford, James Martin Lloyd of Lancing, in the County of Sussex, James Gibson Craig of Rickeyton, in the County of Midlothian, Joseph Barrington of the City of Limerick, Theodore Henry Lavington Broadhead of Burton or Monk Breton, in the County of York, John Coleman Rashley of Prideaux, in the County of Cornwall, Duncan Campbell of Barcaldine, in the County of Argyll, Percy Fitzgerald Nugent of Donau, in the County of Westmeath, John James Garbett Walsham of Nilcourt, in the County of Hereford, William Haygate of Southend, in the County of Essex, one of the aldermen of the City of London, Thomas McKenney, one of the aldermen of the City of Dublin, Henry Muir of Theobald's Park, in the County of Hertford, Charles Mansfield Clark MD of Dunham Lodge, in the County of Norfolk, one of the physicians in ordinary to Her Majesty, Knight Bachelor George McGrath MD and surgeon in the Royal Navy, Lieutenant Colonel Frederick Smith, Commanding Engineer of the London District, Knight of the Royal Hanoverian Guelphic Order, Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Anderson CB Knight of the Royal Portuguese Military Order of the Tower and Sword, Thomas Branca, Mayor of Liverpool, Robert Gill, Lieutenant of His Majesty's Guard of Yeomen of the Guard, Henry G. Priani, Senior Exon of His Majesty's Guard of Yeomen of the Guard, Henry Bromley Hinrock, Lieutenant of His Majesty's Honourable Band of Gentlemen Pensioners, Richard Burton, Senior Member of His Majesty's Honourable of Gentlemen Pensioners, Colonel Michael McRae CB of the 13th Light Infantry Regiment, Knight Commander of the Royal Portuguese Military Order of the Tower and Sword, and Knight Commander of the Royal Guelphic Order. The Most Honourable Order of the Bath, Knight Commander of the Order of the Bath, Military Division East India Company, Major General Alexander Knox of the Bengal Infantry, Major General John W. Adams CB of the Bengal Infantry, Major General Henry Worsley CB of the Bengal Infantry, Major General Hopetoun S. Scott CB of the Madras Infantry, Major General Robert Scott CB of the Madras Infantry, Major General Andrew McDowell CB of the Madras Infantry, Companion of the Order of the Bath, Military Division Royal Navy, Captain Richard Curry, Captain the Honourable Frederick Paul Irby, Captain Daniel Woodruff, Captain James Sanders, Captain the Honourable George Elliot, Captain Hugh Pigott, Captain Salisbury Price Humphreys, Captain John Tower, Captain William Henner, Captain William Price Cumby, Captain the Honourable Jocelyn Percy, Captain Andrew King, Army Colonel Richard Payne of Hampshire's Rifles, Colonel Charles Nicholl, 66th Foot, Colonel Henry King, 82nd Foot, Colonel Frederick Rennell Thackeray, Royal Engineers, Colonel John Boscawen Savage, Royal Marines, Colonel John Francis Birch, Royal Engineers, Colonel Henry Fillett, Royal Artillery, Colonel Robert McCleverty, Royal Marines, Colonel William Howe Knight Erskine, Bradshaw's Levy, Colonel the Honourable Lincoln Stanhope, unattached, Colonel John Gray, 5th Foot, Colonel Sir Henry Watson KT Portuguese Service, Colonel Charles Asher Court, 1st Greek Light Infantry, Colonel Charles William Pasley, Royal Engineers, Colonel John Gillies, 40th Foot, Colonel Henry Charles Edward Vernon Graham, unattached, Colonel Sir Robert John Harvey, Portuguese Service, Colonel Robert Waller, Assistant Quartermaster General, Colonel Alexander Thompson, 98th Foot, Colonel John Duffy, unattached, Colonel Jacob Tonson, 37th Foot, Colonel William Alexander Gordon, 95th Foot, Colonel Lord George William Russell, unattached, Colonel James Ferguson, 52nd Foot, Colonel Andrew Cray, 81st Foot, Colonel Robert Pym, Royal Artillery, Colonel Archibald Campbell, 46th Foot, Lieutenant Colonel Richard Gubbins, 14th Foot, Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Hunter Blair, unattached, Lieutenant Colonel Robert Lyle, 19th Dragoons, Lieutenant Colonel William G. Power, Royal Artillery, Lieutenant Colonel William Balverde, unattached, Lieutenant Colonel John MacDonald, 92nd Foot, Lieutenant Colonel Edward Fanshawe, Royal Engineers, Lieutenant Colonel William Carden Seaton, 88th Foot, Lieutenant Colonel Elias Lawrence, Royal Marines, Lieutenant Colonel William Cuthbert Elphinstone Holloway, Royal Engineers, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Stewart Campbell, 1st Foot, Lieutenant Colonel George Turner, Royal Artillery, Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Alston Brandreth, Royal Artillery, Lieutenant Colonel Patrick Campbell, 52nd Foot, Lieutenant Colonel James Bogle, unattached, Lieutenant Colonel John Mitchell, Royal Artillery, Lieutenant Colonel Edward Charles Winyards, Royal Artillery, Major Sir John Scott Lilly KT 31st Foot, Major Thomas Adams Park, Royal Marines, Major Henry Ross Gore, 89th Foot, East India Company Colonel John Rose, of the Bengal Infantry, Colonel Gervase Pennington, of the Bengal Artillery, Colonel James D. Greenhill, of the Madras Infantry, Colonel John Doveton, of the Madras Cavalry, Colonel Fortunatus Hagley Pierce, of the Bombay Artillery, Colonel Robert Pittman, of the Bengal Infantry, Colonel Hastings M. Kelly, of the Madras Infantry, Colonel John Mayne, of the Bombay Infantry, Colonel William Conrad Faithful, of the Bengal Infantry, Lieutenant Colonel Francis W. Wilson, of the Madras Infantry, Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Lindsay, of the Bengal Artillery, Lieutenant Colonel Henry T. Roberts, of the Bengal Cavalry, Lieutenant Colonel James Caulfield, of the Bengal Cavalry, Lieutenant Colonel Richard Tickle, of the Bengal Engineers, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Fitzgerald, of the Bengal Cavalry, Lieutenant Colonel Samuel Hughes, of the Bombay Infantry, Lieutenant Colonel Robert Smith, of the Bengal Engineers, Major Alexander Manson, of the Bombay Artillery, Major James Nesbitt Jackson, of the Bengal Infantry, Major Archibald Irvine, of the Bengal Engineers,